Welcome back to Main Station. So I'm going to give you a quick update on Bitcoin, and what I want to emphasize in this video is the two sides of markets, or perspectives, let's say. And yeah, so as you might know, many people have been talking about this inverse head and shoulders. We would probably could see right here, and I talked about it, that it looks more like an Adam and Eve pattern. I don't like this pattern too much. Adam and Eve, you see Adam is basically this more sharper wick, then you have a rounder bottom, and then you have an Eve, a more rounded right side. So you have a sharp left side and move to the downside, and move back up, and a more rounded right side. And this is basically a head and shoulders pattern, but with just the point that the right side is a bit more rounded. So anyway, I want to talk about this head and shoulders. I mean, we could, yet what in my opinion could very well be playing out is this bear flag, which we have seen, and bear flags just have been on Bitcoin. I in the past actually thought that bear flags on Bitcoin didn't really matter. This changed over the last months. So if you look at it on the 4-hour, you can see we have been very clearly forming a sort of bear flag. You could extend this up here and create another channel, but in my opinion this is actually quite enough. You can also extend this right here. So, and it's quite interesting because on a trend line, on the channel line of this bear flag, we both have touches which extend more into the past. You can see on the channel line on the top you have a very nice respect of resistance, and at that time it was support right here, and it also coincides with this lever, of course. And yeah, and we've now have seen 3 touches very nicely. Also we have this descending trend line on the top, which indicates an forming of an equilibrium. So we are in an equilibrium. You can see our high, low, lower high, higher low, and I would say that we had a short-term equilibrium right here, and we could, of course, as I also mentioned in my latest video on Bitcoin, that this can go on even further into late January if Bitcoin decides to do so. So yet I think a move to the downside can be very possible, and actually might even be likely, since you can see this move we had right here, this very impulsive move to the downside, and since then we have seen correction. And if we get if you get a correction after an impulse, it usually indicates further impulse into the direction of the impulse before. So this would indicate another move to the downside, and the correction pattern usually, the width of it is the range we would see to the downside. So percentage wise on the logarithmic chart, it would be like that, and we would extend that right here, and it would set us around like 280 to 3000 for not a bottom, and we could see some sort of forming like this right here, and maybe we would see then a bigger reversal flag, maybe like that, but that is more in the future. So I actually will look more to the downside. So and the title of this video will also tell you that or what my inclination is, and that is to prepare to sell. Yes, we could see this head and shoulders pattern play out intact, or in fact, but if it doesn't, well, don't be too surprised, because we now have, as I said, an ascending channel in an ascending channel, and this is usually quite bearish. We have seen now a very nice respectance of this support line, and on top. So this is quite confirmed in my opinion. Also, what I didn't like is that we broke this resistance line, yet we have come down and are now finding some sort of consolidation again. So I don't like this. Also, I mean, what's positive after this impulse is that we haven't really moved down, but we haven't really even moved up either. So and that is actually quite important, that we haven't moved in either side, in either direction. And yeah, so as I said, be prepared to sell. If you'd like to sell, where would it be? Well, you can sell the break of this channel. I don't know if that's the best decision. What would be interesting is to sell around like 3,740, where this low has been, or recent low. Where you definitely would like to sell is at 3,565, this low right here, and since that is the low on the daily, I think. Yeah. So after the low on the daily has broken, you can see this is our high, low, and this would be just our lower high. So if we even if we see a bear break of this ascending channel and maybe this ascending channel too, we could still set a higher low around 360 or around 3,650, and then see continuation of this equilibrium, and maybe see a bull break later on in late January or mid-January. So don't hesitate. Don't be too. This looks actually like a huge doji. Well, it's not. It's actually that. So lol. Yeah. Be prepared to sell, but if it breaks to the upside, then we could see this head and shoulders be played out, and this would be interesting. I would be looking at resistance around 450 or 4.5 and 5.2. So if we break this trend line, then this is interesting. As you might know, I've mentioned in also some videos, you can see it has been quite important, this trend line. It has been resistance right here and the support in our uptrend in 2015 to 2017. So quite important. It has been broken and very nicely respected. So yeah, that's actually it for this update on Bitcoin. If you'd like to, as I mentioned, if you'd like to enter a position, you would either set your entry point around 390 if you want to sell this. If you think that it gets support right here, then you would set your exit point around 379, maybe a bit below 3,800, and we could just do this like right now actually. So you set a stop order just by 1 Bitcoin, in my opinion. Of course, this is paper trading. Please. If you're just starting to learn this, like I am, or I mean, I've been doing this for 1 year now, but this is not much. I can tell you that. So, yeah, we would set an entry point around this low right here. It would have broken this support line, and it would be like around 3,932, 3,931, like that, and we would set our stop loss maybe when it comes back up and breaks like this low right here, 3,981. There's actually a technical way to determine 81. There's also a technical way to determine where your stop and entry points should be, and you would then include the ATR. There's a very nice video on this done by Nonsense Forex on YouTube. You can check him out. I might mention him in another video, even though he's I think exclusively trading Forex. His opinions do matter when you want to look at other assets like crypto, precious metals, stocks, and so forth. Still very applicable, his ways, and yeah. So trade it if you want to. Trade it to the upside, downside. There's of course there's possibility, and that's actually interesting. So yeah, see you guys back next time with most likely